start, let's say, thinking of a color, you start seeing that color in so many different places, and suddenly, everywhere I'm reading and going around, big question marks keep on popping up. And so today's about questioning and about the big question in architecture, not the big question, because you'll never get the answer to that. And where do we go? Okay, so let's start with this one. I think some of you, well, you've all seen this, and you're kind of questioning what the hell is this here for. But when I read this, kind of like it struck me that it was what everybody must have been standing there, and maybe everybody questioned, but one guy questioned a little bit more. It's like, sorry to use names, what the fuck are we doing after 11 minutes clapping with this guy for? Then maybe it's enough. And well, that was a bad question. And that a miss and just accept it. Okay, now just the other side of this in our company, if you clap for longer than 11 seconds, we'll be questioning you. So just be careful. So at the end, if you do want to clap 11 seconds maximum, we have it on tape and will be recorded if anybody goes over. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, so this symbol, I suppose people think in cartoons it's thoughts. So it's more thoughts and daydreaming and something going on in your head. But when you put a question in there and you scratch your head, it's like you're definitely thinking. Okay, so go to the next slide. And of course, you know, you're always hoping that you're going to get that light bulb moment, because that's kind of the answer to the question. So just to go a little bit on the tangent, as you know that I always do. So my little boy, Luke 10, complained to me a while ago that he doesn't like rugby, doesn't like soccer, because nobody passes the ball to him. Okay? And when you play wing at school and you're under 10, of course, you don't ever get the ball unless it goes out of play and then somebody kicks it back in and you throw it back to the prop who's got to throw it back in, but you never get the ball. So I said, okay, come, let's figure this thing out. What sport do you have to pass the ball? So we worked out, okay, tennis. You know, you're playing against a guy. He has to pass the ball. You've got to pass the ball back. Of course, you've got to try and get it past him. But you know, so then, okay, great. So he's like, okay, you know, I'll feel the ball, I'll play the match, and last I'll be in the game. Excellent. So he goes to his first tournament. Tournament, oh my gosh, he's only been playing about 4 weeks and he's already in the tournament. Okay, so he goes there and it's like a bit of a shock. These guys come, these like 9-year-olds come with like 6 rackets on this huge bag. I took a photograph of this guy, like walking up this. Who comes, like this kind of rocks up there, okay. Anyway, so like we get there half an hour earlier, doesn't bring a ball because he assumes it's a tournament, so now he hasn't got a ball to practice. Okay, so we managed to convince somebody to load us a ball, and then starts the match. Okay, it doesn't know the scoring, so that's a bit of a problem. But anyway, listens to what the other guy says and yeah, whatever. Then he realizes, oh, that he's got to serve, but he's got 2 balls in his hand. He's trying to figure out, so he puts a ball right down next to him, yeah. And he throws the ball up, stands on the ball there. He realizes, oh, sure, that's a bit of a problem because his pants haven't got pockets. Oh, I'm watching this and Carla's sitting next to me, and probably know the way Carla and I have a very honest, robust relationship. After like about 5 of these comments, Carla says to me, "If you say one more word, just sit over there." Okay, take that, promise. For about the 5th time, he's passing the ball to the guy on the other side before the other guy's got to serve. He hits it and it hits the net. He's got to run to the net. The ball up, and the net again, runs back. That's all the running that he did, just. The next one, Carla gets up, she will just sitting there, people are looking, just usual couple, you know, sitting there, she's sitting there. Anyway, so he lost the first match, 4-1. Second match, 4-1. Third match, 4-1. Now he's crying, now he wants to get up. Anyway, don't do it. Take him out. So they said, don't, when you pass it, don't leave it in the net. Yeah. So then eventually, the final match, he won. Tiebreaker, but he won. You know what? That whole last match, he never once hit the ball into the net. Because at last, he started thinking. And at last, he realized, my God, it's so flippin' stupid. Every time I hit it into the net, I've got to go run after my own stupid ball to go past the guy to get back. Thinking. Okay, so then when we got home, of course, you know, I didn't take anything casually. So it's like, okay, next slide. Okay. I said, Luke, I've got to sit down with you. This is a father to son, man to kid. Man to man thing. In our office, nothing gets done without a system, a process. Analyze everything. So they said, number one, I really struggle with the strength. But anyway, number one, you got a okay, you got a dad who wants to play with you. You like tennis, okay, whatever. You're fast, lazy. Okay, where we go. Okay, weaknesses, lacks confidence. Okay, one of they're lazy. Okay, but anyway, so I went through this. He's a bit of shell shock. It's just a game. but what I just wanted to share with us is for him to elevate his game and to get somewhere. I think I might have written here, he's got to think, but I should have. Maybe I put it in other words. But even Faf Duplessis was telling me, for example, when they train, everything's video shot from every little angle. They have people analyzing every single little nuance, every move. Is he leaning his shoulder too far in? Is he lifting his chin? Whatever it is. Anything, if you ever want to achieve anything great, okay, it's not going to come through just intuitive thinking. It's like, well, that's the way I've always done it, and we've got to question it, then question it, then question it, and go deeper and deeper and deeper and deeper. And anyway, I'll keep you posted on how he progresses. But he won his match yesterday. Okay, let's go to the next slide. And as I said earlier on, we've been going through a lot of questioning recently. And I just want to quickly share this with you because John, Michelle, and Mark presented some ideas on ARC, on who is ARC, and where is ARC in the world, and where is it going. And we thought that we had the first question, but at the end of the meeting we realized that we were here. We were in question number 2. Question number 1, as John said, it's that penny, it's somewhere there. Just need that penny to drop, then we got it. Okay, so that's the context about all this questioning. And we've been questioning in SAOTA and OKA, and in fact every Tuesday, the main reason why we have all these meetings there is because we're always questioning each other. I think Leisha is a newbie in some of those meetings. I think she's been like a bit of shock sometimes. My God, are we going to start hitting each other? And it's like, shit, this is fantastic that we can have these robust discussions and we can push each other and question each other and say, don't agree with what you're saying. I think we use other language, but and that's it. Okay, so let's go to the next slide. On the Foster website, interesting, we design by challenging, by asking the right questions. Okay, there's no doubt, we always jump too quickly. You're just getting the answers. Next slide. It's a book that Adam Court said I should read. Read it over the weekend, Art and Fear. It's about being an artist, being an architect, and about what you go through and what you question and how you improve and what you do, etc. One of the things that was very interesting in the book, the guy just said, you actually have to just work and work and work and work. You have to do it. And through doing it, you start seeing things. You start questioning things. And that starts feeding into your questioning mind. And in the book, there's a lovely little statement here. Computers are useless. All they give you are the answers. So that's true in a way. They ask questions. Over the long run, the people with the interesting answers are those who ask the interesting questions. Okay? But the word interesting is also a very dangerous, loaded word. I mean, how many times have you been with a client or in an art gallery and somebody asks you, so what do you think of the piece? And you say, you look at it very seriously because you've got to look intelligent. And then you say, interesting. And you go, no. It's like, meaning what? Okay, watch this very carefully, listen to the words. It's from the movie Captain Fantastic. You must watch it. It's brilliant.
What's a bordello?
A whorehouse.
Oh.
What are you reading? Lolita? I didn't sign that book.
I'm skipping ahead.
And?
That's interesting.
Interesting!
A legal word!
Dad, you say interesting!
Interesting is a non-word. You know you're supposed to avoid it. Be specific.
It's disturbing.
More specific.
Can I just read?
After you give us your analysis thus far.
There's this old man who loves this girl, and she's only 12
That's
years
the
old.
plot.
Because it's written from his perspective. You sort of understand and sympathize with him, which is kind of amazing because he's essentially a child molester. But his love for her is beautiful. But it's also sort of a trick because it's so wrong. You know, he's old and he basically rapes her. So it makes me feel I hate him. And somehow I feel sorry for him at the same time.
Well done.
What's a bordello?
Okay, so guys, not ever use the word interesting again. It doesn't. Honestly, it's one of those, actually somebody sent me the word very. Celeste sent me the word very. Very is like a, I can't remember exactly what it was, but it's like you're very tired, you are exhausted. You're not very tired. That's a cop-out. That's another word that we don't be careful. Okay, now, Alejandro Aravena, so a couple of books that Greg got recently. He's the 2016 Pritzker Award winner. As you know, Pritzker Award is like it's far better than the Oscar Awards, because the Oscar Awards there's so many of them. But this is like the one architect every year. And it was a little bit controversial because Peter Schumacher slated him as social housing, and Peter Schumacher actually missed the whole point. And he is fascinating, this guy. It's worth actually looking and understanding his work. So there'll be lots of quotes from this book especially. Let's go to the next slide. That's him. So when I saw that picture, I reminded myself of this little icon again. So, but carry on. This is from the book. Not the answer, but the question. Looking at constraints and possibilities and giving form to the built environment. Not the answer, but the question. Okay. The process and the method. The right answer to the wrong question. Okay. The mission is to identify the right question. Process is everything. You guys have very often heard me when you're at my desk. John here. John Case. Yeah, there. And John, for me, is one of the people that I engage a lot with, and I really enjoy, because he understands that the process is even more important than the end result. Well, not more important, but to get the correct result or an acceptable good result. If your process is flawed, there is virtually no chance you'll ever get there. The process is crucial. You've got to ask the right questions. Elemental, okay, so Aravena's company is called Elemental. Elemental's method is to start from scratch. So this is also worth reading, but I want to write what I was going to say. Every time, and put everything that occurs to them into play. Thoughts, thinking, meetings, conversations, before finally trimming off all the fat. Again, it's the process. Aravena, that's just about the Pritzker Award, and then of course he curated the Venice Biennale, and he was virtually unknown until this happened. So again, there are people with great minds that are not getting enough exposure, and people like you now are. Talking about the architecture itself is secondary to the experience of space, gravity, and materiality. Again, they've got certain principles that are very important to them. They've questioned and they believe those are very powerful, important principles that must apply to every project that they do. Investigation of the essence of architecture. Experience is more bodily and sensory than intellectual. You can intellectualize something, but ultimately you've got to experience it. Okay. It is a detailed record and analysis of the process as it happens that creates the durability of the form as well as functionality of the building. Part of this process is including as many different factors or parameters in design development as possible. And it is perfectly fine if these different parameters pull the project different directions. Opposing forces create the tension or the synthesis necessary for the form to emerge. So going back to our meetings, when we have 4 or 5 directors and we're pushing and pulling and there are different opinions, we're all aiming in the same direction. We all want the best results, but we're not just accepting that, well, you know, I'm older, so Stefan has the final say. You know that Malcolm Gladwell book, I don't know if it's in Blink or in one of those, where the one Asian airline kept on crashing, and they couldn't figure out why. They had all the best planes and why. And they eventually figured out that it was in a culture that it was a very subservient culture. So when the captain made a decision, the number 2 never questioned it. So when the captain made bad decisions, the plane is going down to crash, just quietly accepted, well, you're not allowed to say anything. It's totally different to us in this office. We demand that you question us. In fact, when Nina sometimes does something that I've told her to do, which is obviously wrong, okay, it's her fault. Because she should have told me. But it's stupid. Okay? She knows that. Okay. Let's watch the next one. This is from Bohemian Rhapsody. So this is Freddie Mercury. Just hold it. This is Freddie Mercury after he leaves Queen and he decides he's going to be even bigger as a solo act.
I went to Munich, I hired a bunch of guys, I told them exactly what I wanted them to do, and the problem was, they did it. And pushback from Roger. None of your rewrites. None of his funny looks. I need you. And you need me. I went to Munich, I hired a bunch of guys, I told them exactly.
Okay, we can do it again now. No. Okay, but this applies to us directors, it applies to us together. Your role is to challenge us, our role is to challenge you. The day that coming to work is just cool and relaxed, you lost it. Sorry, I not lost it and I suddenly thought of Liverpool tomorrow. Okay, sorry, okay, let's go to the next one.
Sunday.
Okay, sorry, quickly, let's go to so in Aravena's drawings, you very often come across these. I don't fully understand all of them, but it's innovation, materiality, character, ambiance, which is probably the way you feel. Altura, who knows what altura is? Height. So it was probably, yeah. And I don't know, also, I'll read it. And then the X. And the X, I think what Greg was maybe correct me if I'm wrong, is so what is the result? What is the building? What will it eventually look like? Correct? Then the question mark. Another project, again, they're analyzing, they're questioning all of these things, and they're not just analyzing in their minds. You know, for a lot of these things, you've got to put down paper, because only when you put it on paper, I always say this, whenever I used to get like designer's block or whatever it is, you know, I would just start drawing any rubbish, because the minute that things start flowing out of your mind through your hand onto something, it starts freeing things. starts freeing your mind, and your mind starts pumping new ideas. So I think we also do need to spend more time writing things and questioning. Carry on. Okay, what informs the form of the project? The equation for this building has numerous variables that shape the project: function, height, innovation, materiality, character, setting, and climate. Okay, let's go to the next one. Okay, now we're just going to step one little step aside. You guys know that I sometimes, how many are we over time? Probably are, right? No, 5 minutes. Okay, great. Okay, so you guys have seen this little thing. We are what we repeatedly do. Excellence then is not an act, but a habit. Okay. So it's what we repeatedly do. So if you repeatedly do the wrong thing, okay, it's going to become a habit, and then it's difficult to break habits. And then you saw in the quarterly that Bruce Lee won. I'd rather have a person who's practiced the one kick 1,000 times than one that has practiced 1,000 kicks once. Get the things that you're good at, the things that you know you can make a difference, and work it. Okay, so yeah, this is actually my sweet. You guys, well, I'll read it out. Right. Habits are the peripheral vision of the mind. Okay, I love that statement because there's a conscious and a subconscious, and you don't want to only use half the brain. You want the subconscious to be constantly operating. So like one of the things that I used to do years ago, I would start a project in the late afternoon or the evening before, and then I'd go to sleep on it. And I'd wake up in the morning, and it was amazing how in the morning you're brushing your teeth, and suddenly all these ideas are coming in. If you didn't plant that seed the night before, then your brain couldn't have carried on functioning. Churning away just below the level of conscious decision making, they scan a situation with a conceptual eye to disregarding most of it. The theory is simple enough. Respond automatically to the familiar, and you are then free to respond selectively to the unfamiliar. Apply the theory. However, it's a bit dicier. Indulge in too many habits, and life sinks into mind-dulling routine. Too few, and coping with the relentless stream of incoming detail overwhelms you. Okay. I think it's so beautifully worded. And again, it's the difference between a thinking person and somebody who just accepts, well, I am who I am. Okay, next one. Okay, so guys, you know there are some rules, written in the Bible of SAOTA, such as if your staple, it's got to be 45 degrees into the meat of the page. Okay, it's not there because there's a rule. It's there because if you do it some other way, good chance some pages are going to fall out or tear out or whatever. So the habit here is yellow for the first layer of thought. If something is more important, you put the orange. Something even more important, you do it in pink. If you put the pink on the yellow, then it becomes orange. So then you need to be smart, and maybe then you need to use the green. And only if you really have to, you use the blue or something, which is like not very important. But then if you can't read it after you photocopy it, then there's a problem. Okay. And I'll end off with probably the last one. Coming back to that statement earlier on, I know my desk is not an example to anybody at the moment, and I'm going to clean it up sometime. But for example, what I've always said, all of these things, I just know in my subconscious, if I want to get this pen, if I want to get this stapler, this punch or whatever, I don't even think about it. You lean, you pick it up, you do it, you put it down. If somebody were to ask you, do you know what you've just done? The chance I will say, no, why? What have I done? Because you focus on the things that are important and the things where you need to apply your mind. So don't clutter your mind with all the wrong things. Okay, that's the next one. So that's it, guys. Yeah, it was meant to be a little bit more light-hearted. However, this was very, very serious because this is probably the one huge difference between all great, whether it's sportsmen, businessmen, companies, get the thinking companies, and then you get the ones who just wonder why everybody else is doing better. So cheers to everybody's thought process in due course. Okay, thank you guys.